Welcome back, boys and girls. We are still learning how to compare and contrast our characters, setting, and plot within a text. So let me share my screen with you. And as always, if you could please grab a pencil, something to write with, and a piece of paper. All right. So we're going to begin with our learning target. Let's read it together. It says, I can use a graphic organizer to compare and contrast the characters, setting, and plot of two fiction texts. So this actually tells us everything that we're going to be doing today. You're going to use a graphic organizer. You will compare and contrast two fiction texts, looking at the characters, the setting, and plot. So just a couple of questions that you can be mindful of while you are reading. Make sure you're honing in on the characters, thinking about the setting, as well as the plot of each story. If you would like to, it would be a great idea to jot down that information as you are reading the text. And our text does not have a title today, either one of them, so you can label them as text 1 and text 2. I would like for you to choose your own graphic organizer. This week we have worked with a T-chart. We also have worked with a Venn diagram and a bubble map. So at this time, choose which graphic organizer you would like to use to compare the two stories. And I would like for you to go ahead and draw or write out your graphic organizer. So you know, if you're doing a T-chart, you are pretty much making a large T across the paper, or on the paper, I should say. The Venn diagram, you are going to draw two circles that overlap, creating a third circle. And with your bubble map, you are going to place two large circles on opposite sides of the paper, draw three smaller circles in between, and three smaller circles on each outside of those two large circles. So let me actually show you some examples really quickly just to refresh your memory. Okay, so here is an example of a Venn diagram. Doesn't have to be perfect. Here is our T-chart. And lastly, here is an example of the bubble map. Your large circles are here. 3 circles in the middle to compare. 3 on the outside to contrast, as well as 3 on the other side to contrast. So hopefully you have drawn your graphic organizer. Let's go back to our text for today. All right. All right, so this is text 1. If you want to label this as text 1, and remember you want to hone in on the characters, the setting, as well as the plot, the events in the story. Today was the Valentine's party at school. Marcella had decorated her box so she could store her candy and cards in it. When she got home from school, her sister Janet was waiting anxiously. Janet stayed home from school because she was sick. She missed her class party. She couldn't wait to hear about Marcella's party. She hoped she would share some candy too. Marcella walked right past her sister. She had no plan to give her any of her candy that she had earned herself. If Janet wanted candy, she would have to use her allowance money. Then she could buy some for herself. Get out of my way, Marcella said to Janet. She went straight to the kitchen table to dump out her box. She loved going through the candy and reading the cards. This was the best part. Janet watched as Marcella smiled and talked about the Valentine's party. Marcella put her arm out so her sister could not touch any of the candy. Just then, their mother walked into the kitchen. She noticed that Marcella was being rude. She noticed that Janet's feelings were hurt. Marcella, their mother said, you need to think about sharing with Janet. She was homesick. I went ahead too fast. Let's go back. She was homesick. I'm trying to move. Let's go back. Sorry, you guys. Thank you for being patient with me. She was homesick today and didn't get to go to her class party. How would you feel if that were you? So that's text 1, identifying our characters, identifying the setting, as well as identifying your plots. Think about the key events, what was significant and most important in the beginning, middle, and end of our story. Okay. Please place your video on pause while you make sure you write all of your information for the first text. Unpause the video when you are done. Text 2. Jason was the star soccer player for his team, and games were every Thursday after school. Today was game day, and he was eager to continue his scoring streak. Playing forward meant that he had many opportunities to control the ball. He scored in every game of the season so far. The only problem was that he never let anyone else get a chance to shine. Pass, Jason, I'm ready, shouted Marco as he ran down the field. None of the other team's players were near him. He wanted to score a goal, but Jason wouldn't pass the ball. Marco grew frustrated as he ran and yelled. Why didn't Jason want him to have the ball? Jason kept the ball close to his feet as he ran past his opponents. He heard Marco yelling, but he ignored him. Jason was so close to scoring a goal, and he loved the feeling when he scored. The referee blew her whistle and announced that it was halftime. The players ran to the team benches where they could drink water and take a rest as they gathered as a team to listen to their coach. Gosh, Jason, whispered Marco, don't be such a ball hog. It's not fun being on a team with you. Listen, guys, Coach Terry said, I need you to pass the ball. Soccer is a team sport. If you can't be a team player, you can't be on this team. In order to win this game, we have to play together. That means paying attention to who is open and passing the ball. Jason hung his head as he realized that Marco and Coach Terry were right. He needed to change his style as a soccer player and be a better sport. When he got back in the game, he would pass the ball to his teammates. It was time to give them a chance to know how great it feels to score a goal. So again, taking the time to identify your characters, identify the setting, as well as the key events from the beginning, middle, and end of your story. And it's also a good idea, I did not say this for the first story, but analyze your character, because sometimes that's going to help you to understand the differences as well as the similarity. What type of traits did Jason display? What type of traits, character traits did Marco display? Even the coach. Going back to our previous story, what type of character traits did we read about for Marcella as well as Janet? Make notations of the character traits for each of your characters. All right. So once you have finished identifying those key components, I would like for you to take some time and compare and contrast those at the end of this lesson. You can also click on the link to pull up the story so that you may refer back to them for the details to support how you compare as well as contrast the characters, the setting, as well as the plot. Your final activity for this week is to log into your Clever and complete the vocabulary activities for comparing and contrasting. I will play the video for you, and you can log in and complete the activities at a later time.
Vocabulary. We're comparing and contrasting. Let's get it. Everybody's doing it. In fact, we do it all the time. We compare and contrast when we're in the store, deciding what cereal to buy. We compare and contrast when we pick up what movie to see, or what player we want for our fantasy football league. I'll break it down for you. Comparing and contrasting, get with it. That's when you think how things are similar and different. When I compare things, I talk about how they're the same. When I contrast, it's the differences that I name. I analyze how they're similar and different. I look at them close, yeah, I get specific. I compare and contrast 2 books, 3 foods, 2 unicorn dudes named Hofi and Stu. Yeah, that's how we do. But what's even wiser, before I write, I'ma use a graphic organizer, a Venn diagram. Yeah, I'll show you that. I just draw 2 circles that overlap. In the middle, I'll write whatever's the same, just list the differences in the other spaces. With 3 things to compare, what should I do then? I could add a 3rd circle, so then let's get it in. I compare when I say how things are similar, like dollhouses and ponies, both miniature. I contrast when I say how things are different, give examples and get specific. You get it? I compare when I say how things are similar or the same. Yeah, I bet that sounds so familiar. I contrast when I say how things are different, give examples and get specific. You get it? Okay, I have to write an essay. Here's the prompt. Would you rather be a wolf or a domesticated dog? Domesticated dog is like a pet. I'ma compare and contrast. That'll help me pick. I use transition words to help my readers know that I'm comparing and contrasting. Here we go. First, I'll compare how they're the same. Both have fur coats for the wind, snow, and rain. Domesticated dogs love to play together. Similarly, wolf puppies will play in any weather. Pet dogs have paws, wolves do as well. Likewise, they both will eat meat. Can you tell? To see how they're different, let's contrast. Most wolves have longer teeth, and that's a fact. If a wolf gets sick, there's no medicine. In contrast, pets go to the vet, they let them in. Domesticated dogs don't worry about food. They get fed in a bowl. I bet they love it too. Unlike a wolf, which has to hunt, and if it can't find much food, they go hungry for months. A wolf can run free, do anything it pleases, while domesticated doggies are tied up with leashes. So while I might like to be a pet dog for a while, I want to be free. That's the call of the wild. I'm a wolf. I compare when I say how things are similar, like dollhouses and ponies, both miniature. I contrast when I say how things are different, give examples and get specific. You get it? I compare when I say how things are similar or the same. Yeah, I bet that sounds so familiar. I contrast when I say how things are different, give examples and get specific. You get it?
All right, so let's go back and make sure we've completed all of our activities for today. All right, so again, I would like for you to log into your Clever account and complete the activities in vocabulary for compare and contrast. Boys and girls, it has been amazing being with you this week. I hope you all enjoy learning about comparing and contrasting, and have conversations around your home with your parents, with your friends, especially when you have to make a choice between two things. What what are some similarities? What are some differences? How will you choose? And most times when we are choosing, we naturally compare and contrast. And so I'm very, 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 very excited for us as we move forward and continue our learning. Be great and amazing, and I look forward to seeing you in the future.